All right. Before we begin today, I have just a few comments to make. I want to address the elephant in the room, which is that you may have noticed that we announced that we'll have a meeting on May 13th, a special meeting to address our transmission reform rules. It's no secret that I've made these rules a top priority since I became chairman. We've been working for over 2 years on these rules, and it is an urgent need that the commission act on these as soon as possible. We know that our grid is aging. Over 70% of our boat power system was built in the 1950s and the 1960s. We also know that demand is increasing. It is rising, spiking, some people even say, in some regions more than others. Forecasts are that there may even be shortages. There's no one thing that we can do at FERC that can address all of these pressing issues than transmission reform. And so you also don't have to look any further than the presentation that we had today. And it connects the dot on how important, even when it comes to extreme weather, that we do all that we can to build out our transmission system. So I'm proud of the fact the commission will be able to act on May 13th. And now I welcome any questions starting here in the room. Daniel.
Daniel Moore with Bloomberg. I had a question about the EPA rules that were released today. There was some reaction about how those rules may affect grid reliability, and I know that FERC held a reliability technical conference in November featuring a panel with the EPA. So I was curious, first of all, what collaboration, if you could detail any collaboration you had with EPA on that rule, and kind of what your takeaways are on the possible reliability effects of that rule going forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm aware that the rule came out today. I saw a headline as I was walking in this morning. I have not had a chance to review the final rule, but I will say this. FERC staff worked through the interagency review process to provide technical assistance on the rule. You also mentioned that we had a technical conference focused on EPA and this proposed rule. My understanding is that there have been some changes since the EPA proposal was made, and that they've narrowed some of the scope and also made given some flexibility regarding reliability. Whatever's included in the rule and whatever we discover when we read it, know this: FERC's #1 job is reliability. We will continue to focus on reliability and other matters that concern making sure that we keep the lights on for the American people. Thank you. Tom.
Thank you, Tom Tiernan with the Energy Daily. On the Uri follow-up report, there was a FERC examination of gas prices. Gas prices soared during the storm. There was possible examination of market manipulation. The storm was 3 years ago. I don't know if there's any update on that market examination on gas prices associated with Uri.
I've talked about this a little bit in the past. The process that it takes to do these investigations. Our Office of Data Analysis within the department, within the Office of Enforcement, they essentially have to recreate what happened during the storm. This is a very time-intensive process where you have to interview every single party involved, every single stakeholder, government agencies, everyone involved. And we've been in the process of doing that. Some investigations have been closed. Some are still ongoing that I can't talk about. But know this, we take this extremely seriously, and we will continue to focus. And if we find fraud in any of our actors or any of our regulated utilities, we will punish them. Thank you. Catherine.
Hi, Catherine Morehouse with Politico. I wanted to ask a question in light of Commissioner Clement's comments. I wanted to see if you have any update on whether there's any interest in reassessing the Commission's pipeline policy, including the policy that was shelved a couple years ago now.
We continue to look at ways to update all of our policies here at FERC, including our gas policies. Commissioner Clements would like for us to do more regarding social cost of carbon and identifying the significance of greenhouse gas emissions with our projects. I've been very clear on every order that I've voted on since I've come here to FERC that we do not have the tools in place right now to use social cost of carbon, to determine what the significance is. What I commit to do is this. I commit to continue to follow the science, to follow the data, and the guidance that we have here at FERC to do all that we can. And I will continue to talk to my colleagues on how to move forward. Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, I'm in a weird situation where I don't see anybody online raising their hand. So, really? You got the chairman here. Come on, guys. I don't see anybody unless my little picture is covering something up here, but yeah, nobody online.
I'd like to give everybody in the room one more chance. Please, Dean.
On the transmission rule, do you have any concerns that only having 3 members sitting on the commission may, create some issues with that rule going forward, or some views that maybe, just given that you have 3 nominees going through Congress, and why schedule that for May? Thanks.
As I mentioned earlier, we have been working on these transmission reform rules for over 2 years. We had 100, and I believe 96 parties file comments on the original NOPR proposal, with over 15,000 pages of comments. We had 92 parties file reply comments with over 1,500 pages, or 15,000, I lose track, pages of comments as well, following up on that. We know we have an aging system. We know we have drivers that are really changing our resource mix. We have artificial intelligence, data centers. We know that we have electrification, electric vehicles. All of these drivers are telling us one thing, that we have to act now. Our grid cannot wait. Our communities that suffer during extreme weather, they cannot wait. America cannot wait for us to issue these rules. So I think it's important that we act when this is ready, and that we are ready to act. Thank you. Catherine.
Do you have any sense of whether this will be a unanimous vote or a 2-to-1 vote?
I'm always optimistic, Catherine. I'll tell you this. I challenge you to find a process that has been more collaborative. And since I became chairman, that I've made a focus of my chairmanship at bringing people together, at building consensus, and finding pathways that everybody's not going to get what they want. Even I don't get everything that I want. But if you support reliability, if you think affordability is important, and if you think meeting the needs of our modern economy in the middle of the 21st century is important, then I urge all my colleagues to support this rule. I got time today.
I got 2 online. Thank you very much. I'm going to go from left to right because I don't know who went up first. So the first one is Madeline Liskawa from Law 360.
Hello. I just had a quick question, kind of echoing one of the questions that you received earlier, in particular but this time about the DOE's rule that was released today concerning the final transmission permitting rule. I was wondering again if you have any thoughts on the rule. I know your question might be similar, or that your answer might be similar to what you said earlier in terms of the EPA rule. But yeah, I was wondering if you have any thoughts on the rule, and also whether there was coordination with FERC and what you anticipate to come out of this rule, I guess.
As always, when asked, we make our FERC staff available for interagency review and comment. That's what we did in this particular case. FERC is focused on reliability. Surprise, surprise. We will continue to be focused on reliability going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks. And then we have Corey Paul from S&P Global.
Hello, thank you for taking questions. I appreciate it.
Hey, Corey, can't we see your face?
Let me see.
Are you decent, Corey?
I'm decent.
I should ask that.
Oh,
I don't want to get you off your mark. That's fine.
Go ahead with your question, please.
Let me see. This is good. Here we go.
There he is. If I had a beard like that, Corey, I'd be on all the time, man.
Well, you can grow one, man. No, so yeah, we've had an environmental group or a few of them, I think, urge or FERC to agree to a pause on approvals for LNG projects similar to the DOE's action, and I'm just curious about your thoughts on that, your reaction to that.
So good question, Corey. Here's the deal. There are two separate determinations that have to be made when it comes to LNG projects. There's a DOE decision that has to be made, and there's a FERC decision. FERC controls what is within our jurisdiction, and that is the siting, the construction, and safety of LNG facilities domestically. When it comes to export of LNG, that's plainly within DOE's lane. We are focused on making sure that we act on properly filed and pending projects that are before FERC right now. That's what we have done since I became chairman, and that's what we will continue to do. Thank you.
All right, that's it. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, everybody.